As I said, it's my pleasure to serve as your MC as we celebrate the grand opening of Fort Hills. This is a true milestone, not just for the team here on site or for Suncor and our joint venture co-owners, Teck and Total, but for the entire oil sands industry, this region, our province of Alberta, and our country, Canada. And I might add, the fog added a little bit of mystery to our grand opening today. We're hoping it's leaving. I had the opportunity to join Fort Hills after sanction in December of 2013, and it's been fantastic to see firsthand the incredible changes through construction, commissioning, and startup of our facility. It's often said that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes an army to successfully construct a world-class facility. And I'm so proud of the thousands of contractors, projects people, and operators who built Fort Hills, some of whom, and a very small number of whom, could be in attendance today. Will everybody responsible for this awesome facility stand up and give us a wave? Thanks everyone for your focus on safety and the tremendous commitment you and your families have made to realizing this accomplishment. We also have many special guests with us today to celebrate our momentous occasion. So many, in fact, it might take me a few minutes to introduce them all. Please join me in welcoming the following guests, but if you can, hold your applause till the end of the acknowledgements. I'm delighted to welcome the following government dignitaries. The Federal Minister of Natural Resources, the Honourable Amarjeet Sohi. The Premier of Alberta, the Honourable Rachel Notley, both of whom we'll be hearing from shortly. The Alberta Minister of Energy, the Honourable Margaret McQuaid-Boyd. Local Member for Fort McMurray Cold Lake, David Yerdiga. Local MLAs for Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo and Fort McMurray Conklin, Tanny Yao and Layla Goodridge. Wood Buffalo Mayor, Don Scott, who is joined by several members of his regional council. We're extremely honored to be joined by local chiefs from the Athabasca Tribal Council, as well as some of our Métis partners. Chief Jim Boucher and members of the Fort McKay First Nation Council, Chief Archie Walkwin and members of the Mikisew Cree First Nation Council, and Cam McDonald, President of the Fort Chipewyan Métis. From Suncor, we're delighted to have Michael Wilson and Jacinth Cote from Suncor's Board of Directors, as well as former Board Chair Jim Simpson, former Petro-Canada CEO Ron Brenneman. They're all in attendance, together with Steve Williams, Suncor's President and CEO, and Mark Little, Suncor's Chief Operating Officer, as well as other executive leadership team members, Eric Axford, Mike McSween, Steve Rainish, and Janice Odegaard. In addition, we're joined by our partners from the Fort Hills Project. From Teck Resources Limited, we have Teck President and CEO Don Lindsay, along with several members of the Teck Board of Directors and other executives. From Total E&P Canada, we have Vice President Corporate Services Craig Saloff, along with other Total employees. I think that's it. So please join me in welcoming all our guests. And finally, before I invite up our very first speaker and very special guest, there are a few quick housekeeping items to share with you. If you have a mobile phone with you, please either turn it off or ship it to vibrate. Some of you may be required to answer calls if you're responding to an event. So if you need to take a call, please remove yourself from the area before taking the call. Washrooms are located to the left back corner of the bay. So if you head back down the red carpet, there'll be some guide people and signage to get you to washrooms. And if you're looking for water, it's in the bay where we were mingling earlier. Okay, that's it for instructions. So I'd like everyone to please join me in welcoming Elder Marie Adam from the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation, who will start today's festivities with a special blessing. Earlier this year, Elder Adam blessed our health center at a celebratory opening and honored it as a place of healing and peace. Thank you, Elder Adam, for being with us again today. Sure.
Etlanete, dunsineke ne basuwa wale, Yonathan notsina ne babaris keha dunsineke, that ratalona, noenena ja, noenena, estunt inanant e kuliti, lal yehakorchin lilo. Kuliti notsina baris keha, ne baradalana, ne basuwaha, Yonathede, neti kuibeti kwazadanle hase. Sioyina se pasingle. O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, and whose breath gives life to all the world, hear me, I come before you, one of your children. I am small and weak, I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise so that I may know the things you have taught my people, the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength not to be superior to my brothers and sisters, but to be able to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me ever ready come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so when life fades like a fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. With this prayer, I am sending a message to Mother Earth. Please take good care of her for the future of our generation. And so they can benefit for it when they do arrive years down the road. Therefore, we don't know what's in store for us, but Mother Earth has taken care of all the world, and she still continues to take care of us. So therefore, I feel with prayers that we should take care of her too. And that's why I appreciate it very much that I am here today. I am lucky to be standing here and saying my prayer today, because I had a heart attack in February, and I was coming along pretty good until last week I got sick again, not with my heart, but something else. And I'm said to myself, I will never give up. And I just turned 80 last month. and I will continue to say the prayers wherever I'm needed. And I do a lot of this, and I'm also involved with Treaty 8. And I sit on a committee with the Elders Council. So I am busy, and I'm going to continue to be busy until I cannot do it anymore. Marcy Chuck, and have a good day.
Thank you again, Elder Adam. It's my pleasure now to introduce Suncor's President and CEO, Steve Williams.
That's good. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Anne-Marie, and thank you to everyone for joining us today. I think I've been called many things in my time, but it's the first time I've been called CEO. So, as Anne-Marie mentioned, it really is quite a momentous occasion for us today. We're here with our partners, Teck and Total, and it's a day we've been looking forward to for some time. And I think as you get the opportunity to get out and look around the site, you'll see why it's such an historic day. This project, from sanction through construction, right the way through to operating at design capacity, has been over a decade in the making. I came up this morning with Ron Brenneman, and we were talking about, we actually got the approval to construct this project in 2002, and it's taken that long to design it, for the economics to be right, and then for us to move through to today. I did want to start in a similar vein to Anne-Marie and just say, thank you, a sincere thank you to the whole team here at Fort Hills. It's been a tremendous effort. At the peak, we had 9,000 people here working. We've now got, in steady state, it has 1,400 people, and it truly is a momentous piece of work that we're very proud of. And I hope you share in that pride. We know that we couldn't have achieved this without the dedication of all of those people and that team. So one of the things we pride ourselves in here at Suncor is that we take the long-term view, and that's very important in a project like this. The energy we produce here from Fort Hills is going to contribute to Alberta and Canada's prosperity for the next 50 years. And I suspect actually it will be longer than that by the time we've finished our business here. Fort Hills is in lots of ways the new face of oil sands. Not only does it produce returns for shareholders and generate jobs and create revenue for vendors and suppliers, and as I said, contribute to the economics of the province and nationally, it showcases how we continue to innovate both technology and some very mutually beneficial arrangements we've been able to make with our neighbours and the Aboriginal communities. So we're very proud of those, and we hope it becomes a model for business going forward. Technology has been a major part of the development of oil sands, and this plant is part of that. Some of the technologies we use some technical phrases, PFT or paraffinic froth treatment. That's a process we use to take the raw material we get out of the ground and turn it into upgrader or refinery feedstock. And that can create a barrel now which is lighter, requires less diluent to transport, and it has much less of an environmental impact than used to be the case. So, in fact, we produce a barrel of oil here today, which is on par in terms of carbon emissions with the average barrel used on this continent. That's a big step forward for the industry. We believe in the future we may be able to further improve that. So, Fort Hills is part of that proving that both on a carbon footprint point of view and on a cost point of view, we can compete now with the best in the world. We're also looking on that technology theme to employ autonomous trucks here. They've got lots of advantages. The primary advantage is safety. They do help us improve our performance and lower our costs as well. But we've actually used 1 million man-hours now on our first autonomous fleet in the base plant without a single accident there. So it really is a step forward for us as an industry. We're also employing the latest cogeneration technology for power generation, and that helps both Alberta and ourselves in terms of our move towards more sustainable energy sources. So technology was what unlocked the oil sands in the first place. And as you can see, it's taken us a great distance from those early days. That policy, that culture of continuous improvement is what's helped deliver this world-class project. And we have no doubt that that's going to be a part of the mix as we go forward. As we've developed Fort Hills, we've maintained that sustainability mindset, and that's meant working to carefully mitigate the environmental impacts. And we've done that with a no net loss lake and fen policy, both of which support many different kinds of plants and animals that are used by Aboriginal peoples and other recreational users. Working with, learning from, and respecting Aboriginal communities is a priority for us and a part of a company-wide goal that Suncor announced in 2016, a guide to us over the very long term. So like so many of our collaborations and our social ambitions and goals grew directly from listening to Aboriginal people. To achieve our goal, we know we will need to continue to listen and learn some more. So that's very much part of the way we continue to operate. That goal is also an acknowledgement that the future needs to be different than it's been in the past. Business and First Nations must work together to create that new path forward. About 5 years ago, we sat down with Chief Jim Boucher of the Fort McKay First Nation and Steve Courteray of the Mikisew Cree First Nation to begin those long-term benefit agreement negotiations. With the MCFN, those talks transitioned to Chief Archie Walkwan in the last year. And today, I'm so honored that these guys have been able to come and join us in our big celebration. I can say without hesitation that we've learned a lot from the chiefs about what it means to be a leader of First Nations and representing the needs, the wants, the hopes, the dreams, and yet even the fears of their community members. And it has been an inspiring journey that we've been on, and the dedication and sacrifice that those leaders have made is very much appreciated. We've discovered through our conversations that we have many things in common, and that led to the historic agreement between Suncor and Fort McKay First Nation and Mikisew Cree First Nation. And together the nations now have a 49% interest in our East Tank Farm. For those of you who may not be familiar or don't know, the East Tank Farm is a very important facility to us. It consists of bitumen storage, blending, and cooling facilities. I mean, in other words, it really is the lifeline between Fort Hills and our customers. So going forward, we'll continue to explore and innovate opportunities including working to improve Aboriginal people's participation in our workforce and continuing efforts to increase awareness of the history and experience of our Aboriginal partners. So Suncor's been on a multi-year journey to improve reliability, reduce our costs right the way across our business, and prudently manage our capital. We've also focused on being a leader in sustainability, and those strategies have served us very well and are reflected in what you see here today at Fort Hills. We've learned that the key to making progress is bringing together and engaging with peoples of diverse interests and perspectives and listen intently to their concerns, expectations and ideas, and how we can work together on solutions to some of the shared challenges we have. So these conversations continue to shape, change, and guide us. I know they help make us a more sustainable and resilient energy company. They've served us well with Fort Hills and are good reminders that when you take that long-term view, you're ensuring a better future for those that follow. So thank you all for being here on this truly historic day. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Steve. I'd now like to ask the Honourable Amarjeet Sohi, Minister of Natural Resources, to bring greetings on behalf of the Government of Canada.
That's a pretty big thing there. Have you seen those tires? I'm pretty sure you have. I also want to start by acknowledging that we are gathered here on Treaty 6 land, the home of, Treaty 8. I'm from Edmonton. That's Treaty 6. This is Treaty 8. First mistake. Forgiven? All right, good. Thank you. Treaty 8 land, and it is very important for all of us to, whenever we get the opportunity to appreciate and show our gratitude for the warmth and welcome that we receive from Indigenous peoples, including the First Nations and Métis people of this land. I was not born in this country. I'm pretty sure that you figured that out by now, listening to my accent. And if you haven't, I must be faking Steve's accent, right? But it is very important because the ability of Canadians and our ability to come from all over the world and build our lives here and give back to the community to make it even a better place would not be possible if we didn't have the ability to be here. And that generosity and the warmth and welcome that we receive from Indigenous peoples, I think we need to appreciate each and every day. We've been able to build our own lives here. We've been able to build our families' lives here and make our life better. So thank you so much for that. I personally deeply appreciate. You know, what a facility this is, and what a facility other that you see part of this development. I'm told that there's a new lodge here. There are 2 movie theaters as part of the worksite camp, and there's also even a golf simulator. I worked in Fort McMurray in 1987 as a first-year electrician apprentice. I lived in a bunker. What a change this is. It isn't it? It's so wonderful. And looking ahead, I think reflecting on on their past and moving forward, who could have imagined that back in 1964, when the Great Canadian Oil Sands Project was launched, the doubters called it the biggest gamble in history. And others said it was a daring venture into an unknown field. But Canadians rose to the challenge. Our imagination and engineering and innovation found a way to get oil from sand, something no one had ever been able to do before. The result, the new engine for the Canadian economy, creating hundreds of thousands of well-paying middle-class jobs and billions of dollars in new revenue that helped build every corner of Canada. It is something that we Albertans are very, very proud of. Today, with the opening of this facility, that story continues. Fort Hills points to the brighter future, with more middle-class jobs and more economic growth, all while advancing environmental sustainability that Elder Adam talked about. It is a reminder that the best days are still ahead for our economy, for our energy sector, and for our country. We must continue to work together to achieve our common goals, to create new job opportunities, and meet global demand by bringing our resources to new export markets. That includes building new pipelines. Together, we will succeed. So my congratulations to Suncor for this greatest achievement for all the workers who do so much for our country. It is indeed an honor for me to be here with you and see this facility being completed and how this facility will continue to give us an advantage and an edge to supply the global market. And finally, I just want to convey my deepest appreciation to the workers who build this facility. You know, we talk about prosperity, we talk about growth, but that prosperity and growth would not be possible if we weren't people like you who work tirelessly to make this happen. So please do know that on behalf of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, on behalf of the federal government, we appreciate whatever you've done. You're the one who are creating wealth for Canadians. And thank you so much for what you have done. And thank you to each and every one of you who have been a part of this. And thank you so much for including me in this today's very important milestone.
Thanks again, Minister Sohi. And now to deliver remarks on behalf of the province, please welcome the Honourable Rachel Notley, the Premier of Alberta.
Better, much better. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for that warm welcome. And of course, like previous speakers, I want to begin as well by acknowledging that we are gathered here on the traditional territory of Treaty 8, and I'd also like to acknowledge the Métis people of Alberta who share a very deep connection with this land. I'd also like to thank Elder Adam for her blessings this morning, and to offer my best wishes as you challenge your health issues and work to bring your blessings nonetheless to everyone in your community who is in need of them. So my best to you. It's very good to be here with all of you today, to be able to celebrate this good news. I know that you're proud, and I'm proud, as we officially open Fort Hills. Congratulations to Suncor and its partners, Total, E&P Canada Limited, and Teck Resources Limited, and everyone who's involved with this project. As you know, this site will be producing approximately 195,000 barrels per day using innovative, safe, and reliable extraction processes that lowers greenhouse gas emissions intensity in every barrel of bitumen that's produced. But some of the truly great parts of this project actually exist even beyond the barrels. This project is good for working people. It matters. It matters for the 8,000 to 9,000 people who worked to build it. It matters to the 1,400 people who will be working to run it. It matters to our province's ability to build up our schools and our hospitals, with royalties for the life of the project expected to be near $8 billion. And it matters for surrounding communities. Fort Hills is the largest business investment to date by a First Nations entity in Canada. 49% of the related East Take Farm has been mentioned, owned by Fort McKay First Nation and Mikisew Cree First Nation. Taken together, this sends a message to the world, to our fellow Canadians. Our resources are responsibly produced and produced for the benefit of all Canadians. We have a collaborative approach with First Nation communities and are dedicated to continue to work together to maximize those opportunities. And nobody here would have it anyway. Good jobs, revenue to support the things that make a real difference in the lives of Albertans, and do not forget, in the lives of all Canadians, and a stronger, more resilient economy. But we know we also need to do more. We need to do more to secure that stronger, more resilient future for working people. We need to expand our export markets. We need to stop selling our resources at a discount. And so I need to say, I know I speak for everyone here in this room and every Albertan in saying that we are frustrated and let's go with it, angry about the recent court decision on Trans Mountain. We know that we have done, as is reflected here in this project right here today, that Alberta and Albertans have done everything right. And so far, it hasn't worked. But you know what? We are not going to let it rest. We are going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting for our resources. We are going to keep fighting for the right and the ability to expand the markets to which the resources you folks here are producing every day can be sent. And we will be fighting for the good jobs of the people who work at sites like this, and the thousands, the tens of thousands of Canadians from across this country who work to support sites like this. Every day that we are caught on the regulatory merry-go-round that we are currently caught on costs our country, our province, roughly $40 million. That's not particularly good. About $30,000 a minute, in fact. And so for this reason, we are being crystal clear to everyone involved. We need a clear and reliable path forward to get this project done, not in months, but in weeks. Because quite frankly, Canada doesn't work if you, the people in this room, do not work. And you deserve, and we all deserve, fair value for the resources that you work so hard to extract. The good news is that I'm not actually just speaking to the choir in this room. The good news is that the vast majority of Canadians agree with what I'm saying. People need the jobs. Our hospitals and our schools need the revenue. So we're not going to back down. We're going to stand by everybody in this room, and we are going to make sure that we continue celebrating projects like this that mean so many jobs for so many working people. Fort Hills itself is a testament to a strong, stable, dynamic future. It's about those good jobs. It's about jobs for people from local Indigenous communities and people from across Alberta and Canada. And it's about continuing big investments in our energy industry and in our province. And it's about a responsible future for all of us. And that's the future that we're fighting for. And you're all joining in. You're all making a difference. So I am grateful to everyone who is here, everyone here at Suncor, and every one of Suncor's partners today for your commitment to this project, for the associated commitment to the province of Alberta, and I wish you all the best as you move forward with this project and you add yet another chapter to our province's great history through your work here today and in the decades going forward. Thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody here.
Thanks very much, Premier Notley. Joining us next is Ms. Nicole Bourque-Boucher, CEO of the Boucher Group. Nicole's company and many others in this region are instrumental partners at our Fort Hills site. Welcome, Nicole.
I think I'm okay? Yeah? Okay. I have no notes, so nice and short and sweet. First, I wanted to do a special recognition, of course, to my chief, Chief Archie Walkwin, Chief Boucher. On behalf of my husband, David, co-owner of the Boucher Group, and our team at Boucher, we're extremely pleased to be with you this morning, celebrating this occasion and representing Indigenous business within our region. First, a huge congratulations to the owners of the Fort Hills project on today. And I think it's quite timely because actually this Thursday we do a gala celebration on the 25th anniversary of the Northeastern Alberta Aboriginal Business Association, an organization that Suncor Energy itself has been a long-term supporter and partner of. On a personal note, having been a long-term resident, born and raised, both David and I, in Fort McMurray, I have to say we have often discussed whether or not we would see this very day here and the operation of this site. We have a lot of history at this site. David worked for Fort McKay Group of Companies in the early days when it was called Solvex. Some of you might remember that. And I had the privilege of being the manager of Aboriginal Affairs for True North Energy in the early 2000s when this was first deemed the Fort Hills project. And we went through regulatory approvals. Later on, when it was owned by Petro-Canada, Boucher was called to deliver road maintenance services and winter drilling activities at this site. And after that, when it was operated under Suncor, Boucher was called back again to deliver road maintenance services. And we have been a partner on this site since day one. We are extremely proud to be a partner of Suncor and the Fort Hills project. And the Fort Hills project represents the future face and growth and success of our Aboriginal business community. Congratulations, and thank you for including us.
Thank you, Nicole. And thanks to all our distinguished speakers. At this time, I'd like to ask our distinguished speakers, along with our Aboriginal partners, other government dignitaries, and special guests from Teck, Suncor, and Total, to join us just along the bottom of the front of the stage so we can cut the ceremonial ribbon marking the grand opening of Fort Hills. While everyone's joining us, I just might mention that a piece of this ribbon will be placed in the Fort Hills grand opening time capsule. The time capsule project was led by our engineers in training and contains many mementos contributed by Fort Hills employees and teams to commemorate the journey of construction through production. The time capsule will be on display in the area where we will be eating lunch and will be opened in 2043 at our 25th anniversary celebrations. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end to the formal part of our ceremony. Please join us for lunch in the main administration building, which will be back out the way you came in, and on site tours that will hopefully give you a peek at our facility now, expertly guided by some of our Fort Hills leadership team members. As a reminder, your designated tour time and bus are marked on the back of your name tag. Please ensure you go on your designated tour as space is limited on each bus. And finally, take note that the buses departing back to Fort McMurray will leave promptly at 2 p.m. or you're hitchhiking. I'm looking forward to meeting many of you at this evening's Suncor community reception back in Fort McMurray as well. So thank you again for joining us and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.